Welcome to the Lineman Lounge, hosted by Mike and Evo, calling their shots and being outlandish.
Breaking news from the Lineman Lounge. My fantasy football team just took a huge fucking hit. And that also makes it even more likely that the Raiders are going to beat the Ravens on Monday night. Le'Veon Bell is about to be your starter. Latavius Murray is going to go there as well. Jesus, fuck my ass.
Get ready for the thickest podcast in the game. Coming to you from Hangar 6, where sleeves are optional. Strap in. The show starts right now.
Como están, bitches? This is the Lineman Lounge. We are live in Hangar 6. We're cracking beers. I got vodka, orange juice. I got a whole cooler over here full of beers. And I'm so excited for today, man. We are live again. This is the first time.
In-person live show, Mike?
That's absolutely. Kind of exciting. It had to happen a little impromptu.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of shit going on this morning. We had birthday parties. We had soccer games. I
was practicing my alphabet this morning, so I needed a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, and so I got movies in the park with the family tonight. You know, being a father of three, a fantastic, devoted husband, I have agreed to go to the movies in the park. So I'm not going to have the time to edit the podcast tonight.
That's the beauty of a live stream, baby.
That's why we're going fucking live. That's why we're going fucking live. We're giving you guys the Lineman Lounge from Hangar 6 Raw Dog today. And I'm kind of fucking pumped, man. Like, the last time we did this, I got a little nervous. Like, hey, man, it's our first live show. I just am wondering if the fans are expecting that cowboy hat to make another appearance. I know we had it on the first live show. It got brought out another, a couple episodes ago. I think is it hiding around here somewhere? It is around here somewhere. I may have to have producer Amber bring in the cowboy hat just so it can make another appearance. I mean, I feel like the live show might need that. But man, I'm kind of pumped. I got a little nervous for the live show. I was hoping that everything worked out with the countdown and the intro song. It looked like it worked great. We already got a couple people in here looking at the show, and man, it's a good day. It's a wild day in sports, as always. College football going on right now. We had some interesting stories come out during the week, and some of them are, once again, non-football, non-sports stories. But some of them are sports stories. Some of them are things that we absolutely need to get into. You want to toss me that mic over there, or the mic, the fucking mouse? Yeah, absolutely. I'll get you the mouse. All righty. So where did we want to start? Did we want to get into some college football to start the day? Obviously, we got college football going on right now. Some close games that I did not necessarily expect to be close. And it's kind of nice. Normally, when we talk college football, it's, everybody catches it a little late. They see kind of what we thought, and then they see the scores at the end. Now we get to do this shit live, kind of like we did last time on our Saturday. So there's some interesting games. Alabama versus New Mexico State is not interesting. They were 51.5-point favorites, and they're absolutely doing that right now. They're doing that. It's 56-3, baby. That's with almost all the fourth quarter left. There's still 11 minutes left. So yeah, New Mexico State is real bad at the football. Alabama's pretty goddamn good at the football. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Facebook user. I don't know. Did we ever figure out why Facebook user shows up instead of the... I believe it's because of their privacy settings. Okay. So the moral of the story is it's your fault, guys. Yeah, if your name doesn't pop up, it is absolutely your fault. As we get in the comments, though, we will put those up on the screen. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll try and stay on top of them at least. We will. So I'm not multitasking is not necessarily my strongest suit. As you guys have seen probably through, this is now episode 47. I do a lot of talking with my hands. I do a lot of different things with my hands, my fingers. I'm all over the place. So controlling the mic may not necessarily be the best thing, but I might have to, or I'm going to have to slide this mouse pad over to my guy Evo. I'm trying to find anything that'll fucking work here for this mouse, but we'll get it. We'll get happy. We will get it. So keep going. All right. So we got Auburn and Mississippi State right now in a close game. Auburn ranked 17 in the country. Mississippi State unranked. Kind of a big matchup in the SEC to determine kind of who's going to go where. Auburn only up 28-23. I did not expect that at all. Michigan in a very close game with Penn State. Penn State ranked very high early in the season. And Vanilla Gorilla, my guy.
Oh, boy. How's it going?
I'm going to talk to the old Vanilla Gorilla about doing some stuff for episode 50. Thinking I'm going to see if he can eat 50 chicken nuggets in the time that we do a podcast.
Oh, 100% drink.
Yeah.
100. I could eat 50. All right. We're thick, but we ain't Vanilla Gorilla like thick eating all this crazy shit. I could do that.
So I think that's a good way to kind of segue and kind of bring him in because I want to start doing some collaboration with Vanilla Gorilla.
It would have to be like 50 tendies or something like that because that's a lot more meat.
Well, I actually did get on and played a little bit of Call of Duty, something I don't normally do with my guy, Vanilla Gorilla, also known as $20 is $20. You can see the sticker on the back of Evo's laptop there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So Michigan State, I'm sorry, not Michigan State, Michigan in a close game with Penn State right now. I really need Michigan to cover there. I got some money on them. Baylor, and I called this while we were at the birthday party.
It's a tall order.
Vanilla Girl, I believe in you, my guy. I know you can do it.
Dude, I'll do it with you. I'll 50 nugget it with him.
I'm not eating 50 nuggets.
I mean, I'll do it.
Listen, I like to drink during the podcast, so I'm not shoving 50 nuggets down my gullet and then taking down some alcohol. But a game that I called while we were at the Peter Piper
Pizza.
Yeah, a place I
not a sponsor.
Cannot stand, but my kids absolutely love it. Baylor up 17-7 on Oklahoma right now. This is a game I picked an upset in. Oklahoma's not that good. They haven't been that good all year. They have struggled to beat teams that they should beat. Baylor's very good. Baylor up 17-7 with 7:15 left in the fourth quarter. Looks like Baylor's going to hold on, and then it's going to knock Oklahoma out of that playoff conversation, which is great for me.
Yeah, and Baylor's at about the 50-yard line driving right now, so they could put up some more points before this is all said and done, which is going to, ruin Oklahoma's 9-0 season right now.
Yep.
But like you said, they're good, but they're not that good.
They're not that good. That Big 12 is a crapshoot most years. It is again this year. I don't think they're getting somebody into the playoffs. We may see a Pac-12 team finally get in Oregon. So it looks like Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, and Ohio State, top four right now. They could remain that. But Ohio State has a big game starting in about 35 minutes against the fucking giant killer Purdue. Purdue is up to rank 16 in the country after knocking off a Michigan State team. They have absolutely been fantastic on offense. And Ohio State's defense, very early in the year, struggled. How are they going to contend today? They're favored by 20.5. I think that game could probably be closer than that. I just need Ohio State to get past Purdue. Purdue has been a thorn in our side multiple times as we are on that fringe of making the playoffs. Do not want to see a fucking Ohio State loss today, not only because I have a little bit of money on that, but also a diehard fucking Buckeyes fan. Any other games, though? I mean, Iowa, Minnesota.
Just being a Minnesota fan, that's the one that I'm kind of watching. So Minnesota, was ranked last week. Obviously not this week. Had a little bit of a shitty game, but they're playing number 20 Iowa. Now, Iowa's
fallen off a little bit.
They've fallen off, but they're still a good team.
A team that was beaten by Purdue.
But Iowa's only, they're only -4 right now for the spread. So I think that's a game that Minnesota could possibly win. I mean, it's a statement game. Not that it's going to make that much of a difference at this point. But
it's bowl seeding. I mean, they're not getting into that Big Ten playoff game, right, the championship game, but that's a different kind of bowl game. You start working your way up those rankings.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to, of course, passively be watching that to see what's going on. And then, my guy, Desmond Ridder already played, so already got that win. So
Cincinnati got a good win against was it USF or
Yep,
UCF?
South Florida.
USF.
Not a very good team.
Not a very good team,
And
but
Ritter,
they did not cover. They did not cover that spread. That's a game they should cover in.
Yeah, and I mean they won handily 45-28, and Ritter had a good stat line game. They just didn't cover, and that's I don't even remember what the spread was supposed to be for that game, but
I think it was 24.5.
Yeah, so it was still a big. I mean, it's tough. That's
big
someone
spread.
else. That's someone else.
But
making those spreads.
Cincinnati hasn't really blown anybody out this year.
That's true. That's true.
So are they in that conversation? That's tough. I know that Ohio State Twitter and Cincinnati Twitter have been going back and forth for fucking weeks about who the best team in Ohio is. It's still definitely Ohio State, based on the things that we've kind of seen. Desmond Ridder didn't play a bad game, but Cincinnati has got to put a statement win out there at some point, and not covering against USF. That's not a statement win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to say it's not a statement win because the covers are arbitrary. That's made up by Vegas. That's made up by sports bettors. They still beat them handily, and had a good game. They should, they very well could have beaten them more. But you're going to have some teams that are not built to be explosive offensive powerhouses. Where Cincinnati putting up 45 points, that's a really good game for them.
That is, because their offense has not put up as much points as we thought they should.
Yeah.
We thought that offense kind of Rittered a little bit.
Yeah. So I still think it's a good game for them. I don't knock them as much for not, covering the spread on that. If anything, I would knock Vegas for making the spread as large as they did, given the known commodities of that team.
So I would like to take as many knocks at at Vegas as I can. I actually got back at Vegas finally this week. Hit a massive basketball parlay.
Sure fucking did.
$2,500 win. I had a 9-team parlay in. Only ended up hitting 8 legs, but one of them was a push at Cavs. I had them +3. They lose by 3. Push. So it goes from $4,800 win down to $2,500 win. I will fucking take $2,500. Already pulled that money out. We have well recouped the entire house's inputs and have made over maybe $1,300 back from the things that we put in. We pulled out $1,300. So it was a great fucking week for the betting.
That's awesome. I'm going to give this back to you. I feel like the battery's dead, but I don't know.
I just changed them. And this fucking thing does not necessarily like to work unless it's on the perfect surface.
Yeah, it's a little bit stingy. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's college football. I don't know if we got anything else big to talk about with that.
A&M versus Ole Miss. That is a big game in the SEC as well. Number 11 versus number 15, both teams 7-2. I don't know that that's going to make a huge difference in the SEC. The SEC championship game is pretty much set with Alabama versus Georgia. Unless something crazy happens. I don't see Tennessee taking down Georgia today, though. But that's another good, interesting game. A&M has been riding a big high since they have knocked off Alabama. Something that, somebody in this room called weeks in advance. I'm going to keep riding that basically throughout the entire college football season.
Ride that dick till it breaks off, son.
Absolutely. I will. I was going to say, I'll make that motherfucker cream. But
the goo cannon shoots. All right. But yeah, that's going to be a good game as well. One that's going to be interesting to watch. Really, like you said, we've already kind of got that title game kind of locked.
It's locked in. I mean, I don't think anybody else is knocking off Bama. It was a surprise for A&M to pull that game out, even though I called it. But, yeah, that game's pretty much locked. And I don't think there's too many other things worth talking about. I have a couple of bets in, but there's some obscure games I got in there. Just shooting my shot, hoping to take Vegas down twice in one fucking week.
Yeah. Hey, more power to you, man. I've had limited success with the betting, so I've gone to a much more conservative type of play where, maybe I'll make like one of these 7-game, 8-game parlays or something like that. I'm always doing it on football, and then I am just putting in a very minimal amount of money because with sports gambling, you should bet within your means, and I'm betting well below my means currently, but It's still just playing it safe for me. The only big bet that I've done recently was the fights last weekend, and I put all of my money that I had in the sports book on Thug Rose Namajunas.
Thug Rose!
And it fucking worked out for me, so
Yeah.
that was fantastic. I'm real happy about that. Real happy to see old Thug Rose do the damn thing.
God,
that
it was
fight.
such
Close.
a good card. It was a close fight.
That Gaethje fight was,
oh my God, that fight of the year.
Whew,
Fight of the year.
explosive.
To start off the card. The next two fights on any other card, those are great, amazing fights that people are talking about. But when you start off a card with that Gaethje Chandler fight,
that would have been a main event fight on any other night.
Absolutely. And it was amazing.
I want to see Gaethje Chandler again.
I'd watch that again. 100%.
There needs to be a Gaethje Chandler too there, because so the thing is that it only helps solidify Gaethje, but Chandler now is 1-2 in the UFC,
right?
And Chandler's a fucking good fighter.
So I have been critical of Chandler
Mhm.
because a guy who comes over to the promotion fairly new has had a few fights in other promotions, but got real pumped up in the rankings right off the bat in the UFC. He has to come back with a win. It can't be a rematch right out the gate. I think he's going to have to win another one.
Absolutely. But that's the thing, is that he's going to be fighting, I think, lesser guys right now. Look, that fight could have gone either way, honestly. The way that they were throwing fucking nukes at each other, it could have been a knockout out of anywhere from either side.
Yeah. I was very surprised it went to a finish considering the way they were throwing.
Yeah, it was a fucking war. So Chandler could have just as easily won that fight with a knockout, but not getting that win, that hurts him a lot going forward. It's going to be a very big uphill struggle for him to get any sort of like a title fight or anything like that. But even just to get this a Gaethje Chandler 2
would be great.
I think it has to happen, but there's going to have to be a couple fights in between.
Yeah. Well, and
he can't afford to lose any of them.
No, he has got to go out and put on performances in his next couple fights to start working his way back up. But we talk about this with the NFL all the time. The UFC is the fucking man's league. There are no easy outs necessarily once you get to that UFC. Dana doesn't sign guys who can't fucking bang. There's a reason guys who are in Bellator are in Bellator. They're past their prime or they're still trying to make that come up. Guys in the UFC, they can all fucking fight. They all can throw. They can fucking take a punch. They'll submit your ass. This is the man's league, and Chandler needs to get a couple of wins under his belt to start working his way back up. He is exciting, though. I will give him that. He is exciting as shit to watch.
Yep, absolutely. So that was just a little tangent on some of my sports betting stuff. We are going to get into some bets that Mike and I have for you for football Sunday or this weekend, potentially Monday too. I think we got Monday in there, actually.
I know we got a Sunday night, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is a Monday.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I think it's a Monday. But we do have some lock bets for you, some mortal locks for you.
That's
that
right.
We're going to send your way.
This is going to be the introduction of the Lineman Lounge parlay. So we're going to start giving you guys a parlay every week. Evo's got two teams that he has as a mortal lock. I have two teams I have as a mortal lock. And we're going to give you guys those for a 4-leg parlay every week. That way we can bet it, you guys can bet it, and we can start making money together. We do love talking gambling on this show. I mean, that's a big part of sports now that it's illegal. I no longer have to use an offshore website to do my sports betting, so it's very nice.
Yep. But with that, we're going to jump right into the NFL, and we're going to get into some NFL news. So one of the bigger stories that happened this week surrounds Mike Carlisle's Cincinnati Browns.
Oh,
Jesus. Whoops.
And I'm the one that drank a pitcher of beer at fucking Peter Piper.
You did. I'm just riding on cloud 9 right now, I guess. But your Cleveland Browns and their former star wide receiver Odell, OBJ.
A star's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, well. Either way, he's not there anymore.
He's not. And
he was released.
I think it's best for both sides.
Yeah.
Cleveland looked so much better. Well, with some of the other news that came out today, it could be good for OBJ.
I was going to say it's a good split for the both of them.
Yeah.
The way that it happened wasn't the best.
Not
you
very
guys,
good.
You guys didn't
We
get
fumbled.
anything in return.
Yeah, no, we fumbled the bag there.
Yeah.
Now it does open up cap space. We were able to go out and do some things with that cap space this week.
Cap is a myth.
It is, but we were able to do some really cool things this week that I'm very excited about, and we'll talk about when we get to the Browns game. But the split between the Browns and OBJ, it needed to happen. It has not worked. It never worked. Even when OBJ had that 1,000-yard season, he was unhappy, and it felt like he was almost underutilized. Baker just works more efficiently when he doesn't have OBJ on the field. I mean, if you look at the game this last week, where we went out and dismantled.
I picked the Browns to win that one.
You did? I don't think you expected them to win that way.
Not that way, not that well, but that team happens to work better without OBJ. It's just one of those weird things. You would think put the most talented players on the field and you're going to have the best outcome. And in this scenario with OBJ, it's just one of those rare times where you could put out the best players, but if there's not that sort of chemistry on the rest of the team, then it doesn't work as well as it does with those guys who do have chemistry. Yeah. Case in point, Donovan Peoples-Jones filled in phenomenally in that role.
He looked so good.
So it's, it's like I said, it's a good parting.
It is.
For both sides. It needed to happen.
Yep.
It sucks for your Browns that they weren't able to move him for something.
And I don't know, get whatever the fuck New Orleans may have been offering. A 7th would have been better than nothing. Mm-hmm. What we did get was some salary cap relief, which allowed us
headache relief.
And a headache relief. Now, I'm not saying that OBJ is a bad teammate. By all accounts, he was a fantastic teammate. Guys have come out and said so as much in the media after he was released, that OBJ was great in the locker room. He's great in the building.
But then you have all these reports saying that he's going to be a nuisance if he goes to a team that isn't a contender, which I feel is weird. Who the fuck would release that other than people trying to tarnish him?
I think that was honestly because I think he would have been claimed because he is a supreme talent. OBJ is a talented guy.
But I mean, if his agency, will say, is the one who put this information out, it would have been framed differently. It would have been, hey, OBJ is only willing to go to a team that is a contender right now
and would not consider signing an extension if you are a non-contending team, because then that pushes non-contending teams away, thinking that you can't re-sign him. The only teams that could re-sign him and keep him there long-term would be a team who is contending.
Yeah, but for them to come out, like the agency isn't going to come out and be like, if you sign OBJ and he doesn't want to be with you, he's just going to be a brat. That's not what the agency is going to say. Now, obviously, there could be some hyperbole and everything in the reporting, but I feel like that's probably where OBJ was coming from. Is I'm not like, if a team like the Texans signs me, like I'm not gonna fucking give a shit. Yeah, that's probably where he's at, and I get it to a point.
Yeah. I mean, he wants to make his money. He is a star. He wants to be in a big market. That's why he ended up where he is now in LA.
Yep.
He wasn't going to New York
with the Rams.
That was absolutely not happening. He wasn't going to fucking New York. Mm-hmm. Goes to the Rams. I mean, could have maybe gone to the Chargers, but I feel like the Chargers are playing second fiddle to the Rams over there in LA.
Packers were apparently one of the teams that were top on his list. That's someone that we had both mentioned as a good landing spot for him, and someone that I didn't want him to go there because the Packers absolutely do need other receiving options. Mm-hmm. The only reason why it would have been cool with him going there is if he would have ended up causing more drama. Right. Because drama does seem to follow him. There's a lot of drama around the Packers and everything, but he didn't go there, and I'm very happy with that. And I was happy to see him go to the Rams because I thought, hey, it's not going to make that much of an impact. The line didn't move at all when he was signed. Nope. And I was like, he's going to be lost in the sauce. You've got Cooper Kupp, you got Robert Woods, you've got Van Jefferson, who's actually showing up this year. And then you've got Tyler Higbee, a very strong receiving tight end.
So he's going to be probably number 4 working his way in
he's
going to
be that. He's going to be 3-4 trading off time with Van Jefferson.
Yep.
Until today.
We were sitting having some drinks, eating some pizza, and it came across that Robert Woods has torn his ACL. He is out for the year. That makes a big difference in the things that can happen and probably will happen with OBJ now going to the Rams. Robert Woods is already unhappy with the amount of targets he was getting. He thought he needed more targets. Then you had a guy like OBJ who left Cleveland because he wasn't getting targets So now you have two guys on that team who are wanting more targets. That becomes a non-factor now with Robert Woods being out.
Yeah, and so supposedly this injury happened on Friday, I believe, during the practice. They said that Woods went down with a knee injury, and then he got up and finished the practice. But after conducting the media interviews in the practice,
strong motherfucker.
He went, did more tests, and they confirmed that the injury was, in fact, that torn ACL. Which is, it's pretty rough because obviously it's going to have to be surgically repaired. The NFL and medical science has gotten really good at fixing these ACLs and getting players back quick, but this could be, 8 months to a year of rehab.
And it's already late in the season, so he's going to miss preseason. He's going to miss training camp. He's going to probably miss the start of the year. So where does that leave Robert Woods come next year? I don't know what his contract is. I think his contract's up at the end of this year.
Very well might be.
But I do not know that for sure. Now, Robert Woods is a guy that I would want on my team. The very dependable receiver. Do a lot of things.
Yeah, he's a great receiver.
Especially if we do not re-sign Jarvis, because Jarvis is owed no money next year. I mean, he's under contract for the next 2 years at $14 million a year, but none of it's guaranteed. Which means Jarvis is a salary cap casualty in the offseason. There's just no way around that. That's going to happen, especially with the analytics department that they have in Cleveland. He's not going to be back unless they can restructure.
I think that if they can figure out a restructure to the deal or something where cap is the myth and they can get it to work with the cap, this is where you could see that uptick from Jarvis. OBJ is gone. When OBJ is not on the field, Jarvis plays way better.
Great. Yeah, he does.
And so we might start seeing an increase in play out of him, and that might make that analytics department be like, okay, yeah, this is the right move. Like, he's worth keeping around. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I think that Jarvis is a good fit to still stay with the team personally.
I do too. I think Jarvis likes Cleveland. My question is he going to restructure? He's got no guaranteed money.
Gesundheit.
Fuck. Would he be willing to restructure to get more guaranteed money at a lesser cap hit? I don't know. We'll see. I'm very interested, but the Cleveland Browns could be in line to draft another receiver. Then this is a great year to need a receiver if you are fucking in the draft looking for one. You got some supreme talent at the top. You can get starters on day 2 with how good this receiver draft is. I'll be interested to see if Jarvis does come back, but back on the OBJ thing, it was a great decision on both sides to go away.
Yeah, Les Snead's coming out of this looking like Nostradamus. Like you sign OBJ
not knowing that Robert Woods.
Before knowing the full scope of what's going on, and obviously they were in talks way before knowing the injury with Robert Woods. He looks like a genius with this play. Obviously, It's just kind of luck of the draw of how it happened. They were hedging their bets to make that deep Super Bowl run this year. Even with the move for Von Miller and stuff like that, like they're trying to bring in that good veteran, known quantity talent in order to push them past essentially the Buccaneers in the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl. But yeah, now he just looks like a fucking genius because
he doesn't give a fuck about his picks. He knows what's coming before it happens. Like, he is in line right now for front office guy of the year, GM of the year, which is something that I would normally reserve for fucking Bill Belichick. But he looks so. It's a brilliant move considering the things that have happened, the news that has come out today.
So 2 other things. We've got multiple other news storylines here to get through with the NFL, but 2 things that are kind of in the same scope. We've got some quarterback news. One, Aaron Rodgers is asymptomatic.
Yep.
He is meeting the protocol. He is going to be playing for the Packers on Sunday. All right, that was still technically up in the air until today, but he is being pulled off of that COVID-19 reserve list, so he will be playing. The lines previously for this Packers game, I think, were reflecting the uncertainty behind him. So if you were able to get in on those lines earlier, that worked out for you. But it's a little bit too late in the game for that now. The lines are probably changing as we speak for that game. But just something to keep mind of, keep a watch out for. Other quarterback news. Cam Newton's back in the league.
Mate, wait, did somebody say that the best spot for Cam Newton to go would be to go back home to the Panthers? Wait. Hold
I
on.
feel like that might have been mentioned somewhere.
I feel like somebody said that.
It feels very familiar. There's a lot of deja vu or a lot of misremembering that I have, but I feel like I've heard that here before.
It's almost like we kind of know what the fuck is going on with the NFL. It's
sometimes
kind of like that we can. Well, the betting is one thing. Our bets have not been great the last couple of weeks, but I mean, the writing was on the wall. Okay, so we saw Sam Darnold come out, have a couple really good games, and then we saw a start to progress back to his mean. And now he is full on fucking Sam Darnold again.
Mm-hmm.
He is injured. Cam is not giving up that job. Cam is back home, the team that drafted him. I felt like this was probably his best fit all across the NFL. I fucking called it.
Yep. Apparently he's a stack to be going back. Now Cam is not going to be playing this week.
No. It's going to be a backup.
Yep.
It's going to be a backup, but Cam is going to absolutely work his way in.
Next week. It's gotta be
Matt Rule was never fucking sold on Sam Darnold. Yeah. Never. It never happened.
I love the Darnold memes out there right now. He's got the partially broken shoulder or whatever.
This guy couldn't even fucking complete.
Can't even complete a break.
Yeah, like I mean, listen, I don't.
It's
you and I have been very critical of Sam. I said when we drafted Baker, I didn't want either one of the kids from California. My number one choice would have been Josh Allen, but I was very happy with Baker. And Sam has kind of continued to prove that point that he's not that guy. Now, you're going to still have a lot of pundits on big media ride Sam Darnold's cock. Why? I don't fucking know. He's got arm talent. He has talent, but he can't put it together on the field. We see this all the time. There are so many guys who are supremely talented who just can't play. Can we explain it? No, they should be great, right? You see these guys, height, weight, speed, arm talent. They just do so many things, but it never translates at the next level. You have that every year. That's why the fucking draft is a crapshoot. That's why one of the things that Les Snead is doing is so fucking brilliant is because he's taking known commodities, saying fuck
over
these
the
draft
unknown
picks.
Of the picks.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's kind of fucking working. He was able to flip Jared Goff for Stafford and some picks. He gets Von Miller with some picks. Those are probably Hall of Fame guys. I don't know that I'd keep either one of those guys out of Hall of Fame.
There's a good argument for both of them. Absolutely.
And now those are guys on the Rams, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe GMs start to go towards fuck them picks. Let me get the known commodity. But that won't be everywhere because analytics is so big in the NFL now. The Browns are one of the biggest analytical teams. If you can find a guy cheap, you get the guy cheap. But you have to have excellent scouts, excellent talent evaluators. It's just, man, it's fucking wild. I'm glad that Cam's back in the league. Cam is better than a lot of starters in this league. I hope he's healthy. That's been Cam's biggest issue with the shoulder. Can he stay healthy? I cannot wait to see not Sam, Jesus Christ, not Sam. I cannot wait
Cam.
To see Cam and CMC.
Sam Newton.
I can't wait to see Cam and CMC in the same backfield now that they understand who the players are, because CMC kind of took the shine away from Cam when he came in. Now they are both established veterans who have shown that they can absolutely fucking ball out in this league. Cam's a former MVP. CMC is considered one of the best running backs in the league when he's healthy. They can do a ton of different fucking things with that team and that system. And Matt Rule has got a big ass brain to make that thing work.
Yeah.
Can those fucking receivers start catching though?
That's the thing is the receivers just haven't been catching. Darnold was not playing well. He wasn't making good decisions, but on the plays where he was getting it to the receiver, they were dropping a lot of the shit. And so they weren't doing him any favors at all. It'll be interesting to see if that kind of flips around, even just that kind of mental, emotional switch of having Cam in the building, which I believe the players can rally behind him a lot more than they can with Darnold. Whether or not they're ever going to admit it, I think that could provide that kind of emotional boost and that play boost out of them. I don't know if it's enough to really propel them much further than, because I mean they've been taking some losses. So
yeah, so they've been on a very big downslide.
Season.
Yeah, it's been a big downtick since they started out very hot. I believe they were 3-1. Now they're 4-5 going into week 10.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think they've had their bye week yet. So they have really dropped off. That defense that looked dominant has not played as well. But it also does not help when your offense cannot fucking stay on the field because your quarterback is constantly creating turnovers. Sorry, Sam. I wish you all the best. You're not that guy.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens. You have a ton of talent. You're just not that fucking guy.
He's a really solid backup quarterback, I think. And that's what his future is going to entail.
There is, and we've talked about this 100 fucking times. There is nothing wrong with being a career backup. You can make a fuck ton of money being a career backup. Look at Colt McCoy. Comes out and gets a huge fucking win this last week.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably Hall of Fame type levels of money made as basically a career backup. Nick Foles is in that same vein of making a shitload of money and end up not starting games. It still reminds me of Matt Flynn is got to be the number one all time for guys who didn't show hardly a thing on the fucking field and made a shitload of money.
Sam Bradford's got to be up there. He made a shitload of money.
Yeah, Sam did.
And just constantly injured.
But Sam actually played.
He was.
Matt Flynn played,
Bradford
2
was talented.
games?
Yeah, Bradford was talented as a pocket passing quarterback, but he was so often injured, and he just kept on signing humongous deals.
Yeah, he was fucking brittle as all hell.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Glass.
Very much so.
I
got to witness that personally.
Yeah, so Matt Flynn is the guy that comes to mind because he played 2 games for the Packers, balled out, gets a huge contract, goes to Seattle, doesn't play a fucking game because they draft some guy in the 3rd round named Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it absolutely happens.
Some guy.
Yeah, it's just some guy who should be coming back this week.
He is.
Thank Christ for my fantasy teams.
Though they're playing the Packers this week. I don't know if it's going to make that much of an impact.
I don't care if they win.
You just want some.
I just need some fucking.
Yeah, you can't keep on taking losses like you did to me last week.
No, I can't. It's not great continuing to lose in that fantasy league. But goddamn, my entire team is hurt.
Yeah. All right, so we got one more big story that kind of broke this week very recently, and that follows around old John Gruden again, former Raiders head coach.
Yeah,
resigned.
Now
Gruden,
Bishop Sycamore's head coach.
Yes,
right?
Bishop Sycamore's head coach. Yeah, we're done with the season, by the way.
How'd it go?
Over. Not great.
Not great.
Yeah. So I think we got a lot of talent on there, i.e. me. But the rest of the team is just lacking.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when you get 38-year-olds who are,
I was banging the table for Ted Lasso, even just to have the actor come in and play that role for a little bit. Because I think
Jason Sudeikis is so good, and that fucking show is amazing. I love Ted Lasso.
If
you guys have not watched it,
you have been telling me to watch it, and I was like, all right, I'll get it. Apple TV, I can get 7 days for free, and I watched both seasons in one sitting.
Yeah.
That's
how fucking good it is.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso is the coach of all coaches. Doesn't know a goddamn thing about the sport he's coaching, but he's so fucking just fires you up. And he doesn't even give rah-rah speeches.
Yeah, not
he's
really.
He's just fucking Ted Lasso.
He's
honestly,
the type of coach you just
I
want to play
need
good
Jason Sudeikis. We might have to get a little fucking fat head. Jason Sudeikis
we need
Ted
the belief
Lasso.
sign here.
We do need the belief sign.
Yep. But either way, John Gruden, the former Las Vegas Raiders head coach, is suing the NFL and Roger Goodell, saying that they forced him out of his job in Las Vegas. All right. So the complaint that was filed in the 8th Judicial District Court in Clark County, Nevada, says that the defendants selectively leaked Gruden's private correspondence to the Wall Street Journal and New York Times in order to harm Gruden's reputation and force him out of his job. All right. There is no explanation or justification for why Gruden's emails were the only ones made public out of the 650,000 emails collected in the NFL's investigation of the Washington football team, or for why the emails were held for months before being released in the middle of the Raiders season. These are all good points. These are all points that we've made before. Yeah. We have been banging the table saying there's got to be a lot of other shit in those emails. And for some reason, the NFL wanted to headhunt Gruden, and they went after him, and they got what they want. They got him out, and that's what he thinks. But there's no way in those 650,000 emails that only he was sending bad shit.
Yeah.
He was sending those emails to other people.
Yep.
And
what do you think the responses to those emails were? Like, I can't believe you would say this. Don't ever email me again. I doubt the
responses were good for the people responding.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that we get preached this stuff with like sexual harassment and that sort of stuff working for the military,
all that stuff.
See something, say something.
Yeah.
If you see something that is this bad enough that it's worth Gruden needing to resign or being fired for, then
why
the people
is it
receiving those emails
a decade later?
The people seeing those emails technically should have said something, and it makes them almost just as guilty.
They're culpable.
So
absolutely.
That's just still scraping the surface. There has to be more.
Yeah. So listen, we're not defending John Gruden. What he said was fucking atrocious, and he should have been fired or resigned. I'm pretty sure his resignment was hey, listen, motherfucker,
it's going to happen.
You're being fired, or you can resign on your own terms. It helped the Raiders that he resigned because then they're not on the hook for all of the money. What he did was fucking terrible. He absolutely has a case, though.
Yeah,
everything that is in that fucking report that. He's 100% right.
The unwritten report.
Yeah.
The NFL said you cannot write this report down.
In that fucking lawsuit, everything he said. I don't know that anybody disagrees. Now, there are people who will not back Gruden because of the atrocious things that he said. But he's 100% correct that he was fucking targeted, that they forced him out. They literally used him as a scapegoat because that was the easy fucking target. There's way more shit. They won't release it. They're never going to release it. They're going to be in court for fucking years because they said, we wanted to protect the people in the Washington football team's organization.
Specifically like the cheerleaders and stuff who were part of that.
And then they came out and said, no, release the fucking report.
Yeah.
The NFL is covering it up.
Yes. The lawsuit says that the NFL pressured the Raiders to terminate Gruden and intimidated that further documents would become public if Gruden was not fired, according to the suit. All right, so this is just another part of the saga. We're going to keep you guys updated because this isn't going to go away tomorrow.
No,
the NFL has said that they vehemently deny all these allegations and that they're going to fight it till the end. And the NFL has infinite amounts of money, infinite amounts of lawyers. More than Gruden has, to be fair, but I don't think that a legal team is going to pick this case up for Gruden unless they think they got something, which by all accounts they probably do.
Yeah.
Like everyone, I think, pretty much knows they probably got something.
Wait until a fucking federal court subpoenas the report. Yeah. The NFL won't be able to hide it unless they do some very shady legal shit, which the NFL is very much known to do. I mean, look at the concussion shit that happened. The NFL is about making money. I love the NFL. Love the sport. They're about making money, and they're not going to go down without a massive fucking fight because this is not a small, isolated incident with Gruden. This is a massive cover-up, and there is no fucking way that was the only thing that happened. He absolutely has a case, even though what he fucking said was completely piece of shit material.
He's fining for damages and things like that and for his lawyer fees. I could give a fuck if he gets any of it. I give a fuck. But
I don't care.
We all want to know, as fans of the sport,
fans of the league,
what else was going on behind the scenes so that way we can feel better about the Shield.
Because if this is coming out on one person, I would like to know where else this bullshit is happening because it's not one isolated thing, right?
And I feel like there's got to be people high up within the NFL ranks and some of these organizations that are held in good character right now around the league that are probably involved, and the NFL does not want to hurt its brand.
No, the NFL's job is to protect the shield and make money. That's why we see guys getting fined for ridiculous things like fucking taunting.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when that happens.
Now, Aaron Rodgers being fined, I understand the fine. Listen, he broke protocols.
I'm all about
it's against the
Aaron
rules.
Rodgers.
Do I agree that Aaron Rodgers was maybe not necessarily wrong? Yeah, but I don't want to get into another political thing again, even though I fucking totally...
It's just interesting that
got dragged into it.
His fine is
less
lower than a CD Lamb for having his shirt untucked.
Yeah.
Or for Cassius Marsh, who got a taunting penalty for staring menacingly at the other side.
If anybody's ever seen Cassius Marsh, I don't know if he's all that menacing.
You know what? I like Cassius Marsh.
I do like him.
He's been a journeyman guy. He's gone around, but he's kind of that cool, hard-nosed player. I've listened to him actually on a couple
menacing.
But that's the thing. Like, I could be menacing to somebody or not. I don't really give a shit. But like, if I'm like feeling myself and I'm staring someone down,
what's up, motherfucker,
or whatever, it's not that big of a deal.
No,
not that big of a deal. And I don't know that I should be hip checked by a fucking ref for it.
Yeah, that was the most egregious thing that happened with that entire thing.
Yeah, and after the hip check is when the flag was thrown. It just seems a little funny.
By the way, he held that shit fucking ball in too.
Yeah, and then the NFL did levy a fine after the fact. They're doubling down on it. Yeah, so pretty fucking silly.
Yeah,
the NFL should be ashamed of that one, honestly.
It was terrible. But yeah, I totally got dragged into a
we'll jump off of this.
I got totally dragged into a Twitter thing. Remember last episode I said I fucking hate talking about this because it's politics. Mm-hmm. And you know what happened? I got on Twitter talking about it and I fucking got dragged into the bullshit of politics. Somebody said, "Hey, Trump lost." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I don't care." And then somebody else, after I said I don't care that Trump lost, was like, "Oh, you're rooting for the wrong guy," and tagged Biden or posted Biden. I was like, I don't care. I want to talk about football. Is that accent coming out a little bit? Right, a little bit. That motherfucking cowboy hat's about to come on in here.
Right. All right. So we'll get kicked off with our game. So Thursday night already happened. Okay. Thursday night, Ravens Dolphins being played in Miami. Dolphins fucking came to town today. 22-10. Dolphins beat the Ravens. It was actually a pretty fun game to watch. Brissett's out there starting for the Dolphins. He gets injured, and in comes Tua Tagovailoa. Plays himself a pretty decent game. And look,
did we watch the same game?
He played a decent game for coming in relief and being injured and all that shit. He played well enough for them to win.
The Dolphins defense played a good game.
They were definitely the stars of the show. And that's what I was going to get at. So the Dolphins played a very interesting defense. I think that they saw what happened in the Vikings game the week prior in the first half, where we actually played very well against the Ravens in the first half. Mm-hmm. And they took that and kind of ran with it and expanded upon it. So you saw this interesting defense where they have all their guys up on the line. Minus
what is it?
4 defensive backs.
7 guys up front?
Yes, minus 4 defensive backs, which were playing a fairly soft coverage. But what we showed last week in the Vikings-Ravens game is that if you are able to pressure Lamar and you are able to – here we go.
Here we go.
You're able to pressure Lamar. You're able to get through this somewhat porous line. He's going to make some not so good throws. And then the only thing that you really have to worry about is the off chance of him completing one of those throws or him scrambling. And they, for the most part, were able to defend against it. And that's what ended up being the deciding factor in this game, where the Dolphins win 22-10. And then as a sidebar, we also saw one of the most athletic, incredible plays ever, which didn't count.
God, but it was so good.
As the Lineman Lounge.
This is the Lineman Lounge for a reason.
We got to pop off for our boy Hunt.
Oh, God, listen, completely illegal.
Yeah, it doesn't count at all.
But
you'll love to see it.
Linemen are fucking athletes. God damn it. They are so smart. They are fucking physical. They are athletes. It was so impressive because he caught that motherfucker like it was designed for him.
Yeah. So for everyone who might not be aware of this, there was a screenplay happening close to the end zone. The ball did not go to Gaskin, the running back. Offensive lineman Hunt,
guard, by the way,
yes,
guard
gets the ball and immediately starts plowing downfield and gets hit near the goal line, is flipped up in the air, and then has the wherewithal to know, I need to get this ball in the end zone. Reaches out while inverted,
the line.
And crosses the line for what would have been a touchdown had he been an eligible receiver.
Listen, I was inverted.
Mm-hmm. So it was a good Top Gun reference there, but it was an awesome play to watch. Of course, it doesn't count.
No,
it doesn't follow the rules, but you love to see it. That was one of the more exciting plays of his life, if not the most.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have a bigger highlight in his life. He's a fucking guard.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the play almost counted when it started because of the way that he caught it and ran like he knew he was getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, did they have a fucking tackle eligible? And then I realized on replay, I was like, that's a fucking guard. There is no way he is eligible. It was impressive what he tried to do there. It's great for the brand of lineman. I wish it would have counted because it was so incredibly athletic for a big ass dude, like 6'4", 300 plus pounds. It didn't matter though, because the Dolphins came out and put fucking work in on this Ravens defense. This Ravens offense. So we're starting to kind of find out after the last couple of weeks that you can put pressure on Lamar, but it's how you put pressure on Lamar. It's not necessarily rushing through the A or the B gap. When you bring guys off the edge, when you're lined up in like a wide 9 set and you can pressure the edges, as long as you get your front 4 pinching down, you can absolutely get to Lamar if you have guys that can cover one-on-one outside, which the Dolphins do have.
Yeah, they got their Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard had a huge game.
Absolutely.
So this is starting to look like a little bit of a trend. It's not there yet.
And now, like I said,
2 games is not a trend. I'd say 3 games is a trend.
But we saw this, like I said, with the Vikings. So part of what the Vikings did was they brought that pressure. They maintained, and this is integral for that rush, is maintaining that lane integrity so that way you don't have these wide open gaps where Lamar can easily squirt out and make that run.
Yep.
And then, like you said, it is having the defensive backs who can play one-on-one versus those receivers.
And who, at this point, which one of the receivers do you think's winning one-on-one consistently?
The closest one would be Bateman.
Yeah,
like he's playing very well. Rashad Bateman is playing very well.
He's playing well.
But even then,
maybe Mark Andrews on a safety.
Yeah, and Hollywood Brown, he's playing a little bit better. But so for the Vikings right now, we are hurt at cornerback. Patrick Peterson's on the IR, though he could return next week. You've got Brashad Breeland, who is meh, but he's still one of the better cornerbacks on the team. He went out early with a groin injury, and so we're down to our backups. We've got Cam Dantzler, we've got Chris Boyd. We've got guys that aren't meant to be out there other than maybe to spell a guy for a little bit, give him a break and stuff like that. And you saw us kind of get beat because of that through the air more often than you did with the Dolphins. So, like you said, if you have guys that can hold up relatively well one-on-one, and you are able to have guys that can contain on the edge and maintain their gap integrity on that rush, we're seeing a weakness in the game plan for
it makes me feel very good about the Browns matchup with the Ravens. Joe Woods has come out this week, the defensive coordinator for the Browns, saying, listen, we typically play a lot of zone. Our guys are better in man. They're really good in man. Denzel Ward might be one of the top 5 corners in all of football in tight man coverage. And then if you give me a Jadeveon Clowney off an edge, a Myles Garrett off an edge, we can stack up somewhere in the middle. And then also give me a joke playing that wide rush who we're getting back this week. It makes me feel very good because
And Stefanski's watching his old team, the Vikings. He's watching these other guys. Yep. Stefanski's a smart guy.
Yep.
He's getting his guys ready. He's getting Woods, the defensive coordinators, out there watching. Everyone's seeing what's going on here. They're not going to sleep on it.
No, absolutely not. And Lamar is not typically – Lamar escapes. But when Lamar escapes, he escapes wide. Very rarely do you see Lamar escape through the middle. Now, when he does escape through the middle, it is explosive because there's nobody there. But most times he's trying to break the edge because he's the best athlete on the field. Basically at all times. I don't know if there's a better athlete in the world.
The NFL. They've been logging a lot of his stats because statistically he's having an insane season, Lamar is. He's accounted for something like 70-something% of the offensive yards on his team.
Yeah.
Not just like completely passing. Like he's got all sorts of rushing yards and stuff like that. Like he's producing.
He's otherworldly. He's so goddamn good. But people are starting to find that chink in the armor. People thought it was going to be his throwing. His throwing is drastically improved. I'm not going to sit here and bury Lamar for his inability to throw because it has 100% fucking improved from what I expected. He is completing.
It is better. I still don't think he's a great passer. You're seeing some of the throws that he's throwing, and they are inaccurate. He's throwing some balls into the ground and stuff like that. But it has improved from what I expected for sure. And then just the constant threat of his mobility and being.
But if you can take that element of his game away with that wide 9 rush coming off the edges, I mean that's not great for that Baltimore team because one thing that Baltimore used to be really good at was playing defense. They had so many busted coverages in that fucking Dolphins game. It was unbelievable. That did not look like a Harbaugh coached team with how many defensive miscues they had. So there is starting to be a little bit of a recipe. I'm not going to say it's a trend yet. Give me one more week where people are still doing this. Then I'm going to say it's a trend. And people are going to start to really clamp down on that offense because they don't have a ton of weapons that can win one-on-one. That running game is old as fuck. Now, those guys have performed fairly well. That group of aging running backs. But that's not enough to win you a game in the NFL anymore. I mean, it's a passing league. I don't always agree with the fact that it's a passing league. I think that the running game is way undervalued because I see teams that can run efficiently.
It's as the NFL moves more towards analytics. The analytics do support running is usually a negative win play overall, right, even if you pick up positive yards when in comparison to the passing game. So
listen, there's only three things that happen when you throw a pass. The running game, though. There's only 3 things that can happen when you throw a pass, and 2 of them are negative. It's an incompletion or an interception. Those don't sound like great fucking odds. Mm-hmm. Running game is 50-50.
It's just way more boom or bust.
It is boom or bust. I'm excited to see how this continues on. Great win for the fucking Dolphins. Love to see it. I lost money on this game. Did not give a fuck that I lost money on this game because that knocks the Ravens down. A win this week by my Browns puts us in a tie for first place in the AFC North. And we are right back into being in that contention where I thought we could be fighting for the AFC North championship.
Mm-hmm. And I was glad to see Lamar struggle this week because I'm playing him in fantasy. So he still had an okay game, but definitely not a great game. So that of course helps me. But
I can tell you he didn't run for over 50.5 yards and throw a touchdown pass.
Actually, I almost did that boost. Yeah. I remember seeing that. I almost did that boost, but I decided against it.
Yeah. It was the Dolphins. I thought I had it.
Yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
All right. But so we'll move into the rest of our games here. So Sunday morning, we're going to look at the Falcons and Cowboys playing in Arlington, Texas. Cowboys 6-2. They took a pretty big beating last week. They did. Wasn't expected at all. Dak didn't look great. He only put up some extra points in garbage time once they were being blown out. I really thought that they were probably going to pull him just because he had been, injured and stuff like that. And they're like, this game is unwinnable. Let's get him out of there. And just try to finish this game. But no, they kept them in. They got some garbage time points. Either way, Cowboys with a pretty shitty loss there. But, that's the NFL. There's parity week to week. We don't know what's going to happen. Either way, the Cowboys are playing the Falcons. The Falcons have been looking a lot better. The Falcons are quietly 4-4.
Way better.
Quietly 4-4. All right. Matt Ryan's Matt Ryan. He's steady. He's unspectacular, but he's a good quarterback. You're like we've said past couple weeks, you're starting to see a lot more out of their tight end pits. Cordell Patterson is working for them as a very, very reception heavy running back. This isn't just going to be a game where I think the Cowboys, roll over the Falcons. I do think the Cowboys are going to win. Now, right now on ESPN, it's showing the line as -8. I don't know if I personally have them covering.
I do not have the Cowboys covering.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it right now. One of the first legs of the Lineman Lounge parlay is Cowboys Moneyline. They're getting the win. Okay. Last week, Cowboys really, really struggled. Falcons are a much improving team. We will not see the Cowboys struggle like that again.
I expect a bounce back.
They are going to bounce back. They're going to get this win. This is one of my virtual locks. Cowboys getting the win. Now, this motherfucking Cowboys team. Listen, Jerry Jones ain't going to just let Mike McCarthy run this fucking thing into the ground. He is a man of action. He is a man who loves salt. This Cowboys team is going to respond the way they should. They are going to come out. They are going to get this win. This Falcons team has snuck up on people. That is why they are 4-4. We are seeing an improvement out of their young tight end, but that Cowboys defense has also improved.
Yeah.
They're drastically improved from what everybody thought they would be. Mike McCarthy has done a pretty goddamn good job of fixing that unit that was atrocious last year. So I got the Cowboys on the money line. You can fucking take that to the bank.
Yep, I agree with you. Cowboys money line there. I don't know about the line.
I don't have them covering, and I can't do the fucking accent anymore. And this hat's got to come off because these fucking headphones behind the hat is the most uncomfortable shit in the world.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to keep on doing that.
Yeah.
But the over/under here is 54.5, and I think that I might take the over on this one. I haven't put in that bet yet, but and by the way, this Lineman Lounge bet, I'm betting it. So
I'm betting it too. So
like I said, I've been more conservative on my bets. I'm going to go ahead and bet it just so that way, you guys should bet responsibly, bet within your means. You don't have to follow us if you don't want to, because we can't truly guarantee any of this. No one can guarantee anything in sports betting. However, we feel strongly about this. And if you want to bet along with us, we're going to tell you what those picks are as we go along. And we're going to end up telling you what the odds are, what sort of money you could make if you were to put these in on a couple different sports books.
Yep, on the end. And guys, up right now is the gambling hotline number. Okay, so if you guys do have a problem with gambling, nobody likes to admit a problem. Okay, when you have alcoholics, they don't admit alcoholism. Doesn't matter what your addiction is. Nobody wants to admit it. But if there's somebody in your life telling you that, hey, you have a problem, somebody close to you. Okay, now we give shit to a couple people at work about what some of the things that they do gambling.
They make some silly plays.
And they make some silly plays. But that's not the same thing as having a gambling problem, as having a gambling habit that you can't control. If somebody in your life has told you that you need to go and seek help, please call 1-800-522-4700. We love talking gambling. It's one of my favorite things. When gambling became legal here in Arizona, I was super fucking pumped because I was doing it illegally on another website that I'm not going to name, because I love doing it. It gets me involved in the games. My wife, producer of the show, Amber, huge sports bettor now, absolutely loves it, has been pretty successful. She put in $75 total between two sportsbooks. She's at $800 now between both of her sportsbooks. So you can have success. But if you're not having success, you just keep dumping money in, stop, get some help, call the number on the ticker down below, and don't piss away your money because it's not worth it.
No.
All right. I felt like I wanted to toss that up there
Absolutely.
while we were talking about that.
Absolutely.
So
For the people. All right. Next game, we have the Saints and the Titans being played in Nashville. All right. Titans have been on a roll. They've been looking real good. Even without Derrick Henry now, Adrian Peterson was signed, came in. He got a touchdown. He didn't play all that spectacularly last week. You saw a lot more McNichols, but that's because McNichols understands the offense. The other thing that was brought up a lot in the broadcast actually is that Peterson was running pretty high. He was keeping those shoulders high, which is not very Adrian Peterson-like because he likes to get down low and he likes to smash. And
who doesn't like to smash?
I love the smash, but Adrian just did not look quite like his normal self. He looked a lot lighter to me.
He did look light. He looked very light. But
he was quick.
He is quick.
He was quick, very quick movements. I don't know. We didn't really get to see that top end speed or anything like he used to have. Just because, not saying that he doesn't have it, might still be there. We just didn't get to see very much of it. He was a factor, not a huge factor. I think that his role will increase. I had him on my team last week for fantasy, dropped him this week. I basically wanted him on the roster so that way someone else wouldn't have him that week, but I just couldn't afford to keep him this week because I was having Kittle come off of IR for me, so I needed that extra roster spot. Thanks a lot, Nick Peterson, for dropping him when he got hurt earlier in the year.
Man,
I
can't believe that happened.
Totally about stashing him on my IR slide. I was like, hell yeah, why not?
And Nick knows better. Like he's a fan of the Cardinals. He knows what Kittle can do in that fucking NFC West.
Yep. But I digress. So we got this Saints and Titans game. All right. So right now, ESPN is showing the line as Tennessee -3. Alvin Kamara not playing this week. All right. Quarterback still an issue for them. Right. So I've got the Titans winning this game. Titans -3. I'm taking that all day.
Yeah. I got Titans early in the week at -2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very excited to see that line. The Saints don't have a quarterback anymore. The Saints can't score. I mean, Alvin Kamara is great, but
Ingram's going to be there, sure, but he's not Kamara.
No. And we got a couple comments here on Amber, producer of the show. She put in 45, not 75. So I don't want to short her on her gambling winnings. Good job, baby. Keep making money for the house.
Some eyeballs from a football user. Is that what that is?
Yeah. Facebook user had some eyeballs. I'm not sure what it was in reference to.
They're looking at our shit.
I mean, I did have gray sweatpants on earlier today.
Oh boy. That dick print. Anywho, yeah. So right now the line has moved a little bit. Tennessee -3. I think the Titans should absolutely roll over the Saints. I was expecting this line to be closer to like
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I'm absolutely hopping on the Titans. Not part of our locks. Just because for me, one of the reasons that I didn't put this as one of my locks, I want to see that Tennessee offense do it 2 weeks in a row without Derrick Henry before I still say that they are one of the best teams in the AFC. I think they should cover I got 2.5. Was it 3
it's
right
3
now?
On ESPN. I'm not sure what it is on Caesars.
And so we got some lines running across the bottom right now. These are lines from this morning, so they could have changed a little bit. Let's see. It's coming up. Might have already passed. Either way, I got Tennessee covering because I expected the spread to be around 6 because the lack of quarterback situation in New Orleans. Jameis wasn't playing bad at all. I kind of feel bad for Jameis because he was having a pretty good season. So this morning it was 2.5.
It is -3 for the Titans on Caesars as well.
Okay.
So that's what.
So we got -3 on Caesars, 2.5 off FanDuel this morning.
And I actually got them at -3 on Wednesday. So that line actually had moved on Caesars a little while ago.
Okay. So I got -2.5 on,
which is actually surprising to me that the fact that Kamara, being ruled out, which was only a day or so ago, that didn't move the line further.
That should move the line again. That's their biggest offensive weapon. It's Tennessee for sure.
Over
I
under
just
right
want
now
to
for this
see them.
game. Over under is 44. You think the Saints can put up at least 22 points to match 22 points from the Titans to get to that 44?
No, but I think the Titans can put up 30 plus if they play the same type of game they played last week.
I see this being a 17-28 type of game. So
that's 45. That's right in that.
Exactly. So that's I think we could see them make the over on this one. But that's if the Saints reach their max potential, which I still don't think is enough to beat the Titans. All right. Moving on.
Yep.
Jaguars Colts. All right. This game is being played home game for the Colts in Indianapolis. The current line is Indianapolis minus 10.5 on ESPN, over under of 47.5. Yeah, I got Indianapolis winning this game.
Yeah, I got Colts on the money line.
I don't know if I have them by 10.5.
That's where I had some pause. I got Colts on the money line. I don't know if I'll cover 10.5. Jacksonville is getting better.
This is another one of those games where I felt like it should have been 6.5.
Yeah, so I'd have seen 7.5 at the highest. 10.5 is, I think, a little much. Now, Carson has played very fucking good. We have been very critical of Carson on this show.
Taylor has only been getting hotter.
Taylor looks like one of the best running backs in the league.
Pittman has been very consistent.
Absolutely. Nakeem Hines is the perfect fucking complement to Taylor in that backfield. They are playing very good on offense. That garbage time last week against the Jets where they almost let them backdoor cover worries me. This is why I'm not taking the 10.5. I got the Colts on the money line, and I think that the Jags can cover 10.5. They might lose by 10 on a late touchdown, some crazy shit. I don't like the cover there, but I definitely got Colts on the money line.
Yep. And like we were saying, Carson Wentz has been playing very well.
He's been
doing very good so far this season, but they are one, brittle injury away from losing him again. And this
or one fucking shovel pass to a defensive end for no goddamn reason.
True.
Because Carson won't give up on a play. I don't understand it. Like, so early in your career, I get it. You want to make every play, right? You want to show that you're the guy. Carson's a vet now. He's not a young guy. Sometimes plays don't work. Just fucking live to fight another down, man. Like, stop being so goddamn boomer bust on every fucking play. He's played really well. But there's no goddamn middle ground with Carson. It's spectacular or what the fuck were you thinking? I got the Colts. If Carson can learn how to control himself, he's got all the talent in the world. I don't know if he's got it in to not give up on a play, though. Very similar thing that we saw with fucking Andrew Luck. Would not give up on plays, ended up not ending his career. Not ruining. Andrew Luck had a great career.
Cutting it short.
Yeah. Ended up ending his career because he would not give up on a play. And we almost saw that happen to Carson early in the year. I can't
imagine how good these Colts would be with Andrew Luck. I'd feel so much better about them if Andrew Luck was there, to be completely honest.
Andrew Luck is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. Yeah. He was. I mean, Andrew Luck was top 5 when he was in the league.
Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah, he was so goddamn good. He just, when you play that style of football at that position, bad things happen.
Yeah. All right. Next game for us here, Bills and Jets being played. Home game for the Jets. Currently the line is Buffalo minus 12.5, over and under 47.5. If I'm correct, I believe Mike White's going to be starting for the Jets, which makes me feel a little bit better about the Jets. Yeah.
As he should. Mike White is the best quarterback on that fucking team.
Saw that one coming.
He is. Tell me I'm wrong.
He is the best quarterback currently based off his play on that team.
He is the best quarterback on that team. Now, listen, Zach Wilson came out and said some things this week. Like, listen, Mike White's been great. He's one of my best friends on the team. But I'm 20 years old. I should be a senior in college. You couldn't expect me to come in and be fucking great right away. That sounds like a lot of excuses. That's not what you typically hear from a franchise fucking quarterback. Those are not things that come out of a franchise quarterback's mouth. It's, I have not played up to par. I have not been good. I need to be better. I need to improve the people around me. I need to improve my fucking play. Zach didn't do that this week. Zach made an excuse as to why Mike White has outperformed him. And Mike White has absolutely outperformed him. Does not change what's going to happen in this game.
Now, what we've been saying, though, with Mike White is that, he came out that first game and played very, very well. I mean, very low depth of target and stuff like that, one of the lowest in the leagues, but it worked for them. He just looked better out there. He looked more natural out there.
Everything is crisp. It's in timing. It's in rhythm, which is something that Zach has struggled with all fucking years, throwing within rhythm.
And this is going to be a benefit for the Jets. However, they're playing the Buffalo Bills, and the
they're
Buffalo Bills are a
fucking
supremely
smacked.
talented team. Now, the line of Buffalo minus 12.5, I don't feel good about that based on the past couple games from the Bills. I think that the Bills should be one of the top 2-3 teams in the AFC. In the past few weeks, they just really haven't played like it. And it's like, when is the other shoe going to fall? And they're going to get their act back together. They absolutely should against these Jets, but I mean, they played down and lost to Pittsburgh in week 1. We saw these kind of just shitty games happen. They lost to the fucking Jaguars, last week.
Josh Allen played a great game.
Yeah, Josh Allen to Josh Allen to
By the way,
Josh Allen.
By the way, if you don't watch ESPN, go back and watch last week's episode of any fucking sports talk, and they'll talk about how Josh Allen played a great game against Josh Allen, and it was annoying as fuck, but Josh Allen for the Jags did have a good game, and Josh Allen for the Bills did not have a good game. If you're not aware, 2 guys, 1 linebacker, 1 quarterback, have the same name, and apparently it was just the greatest goddamn storyline in the world. The more we do this, the more I get disenfranchised by the fucking shit I see on national media.
Yeah, ESPN is a rough watch. I watch it just for the scores and not the commentary at this point.
Yeah.
Bills all day on this one. I will not take the line of minus 12.5 because I need to see Buffalo rebound before I start taking that large of a line on them.
Yeah, so you said it was 13.5?
12.5
on
ESPN currently.
So FanDuel has it at minus 13 on the Bills. I got Bills Moneyline. I don't have them covering. If Mike White plays, that Jets team is better. They will keep it, I think, within 10. But they're still the Jets until Mike White comes out and shows me that he is deserving of that number 1 overall pick. Like he said, he should have been the number 1 overall pick instead of pick 180, whatever.
Not Mike White. You said Mike White. You mean, oh, wait.
No, Mike White said that, right?
Said that he should be the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, he said that when I came
know that
out.
He had a tweet that had resurfaced talking about Peyton Manning, look at him coming for your records or something like that, right?
No, so that did also happen. But Mike White also said when I came out, I felt like I should have been the number 1 pick. That's a good fucking mentality to have.
Yeah.
You know who else had that kind of mentality? Not saying they're the same. Tom motherfucking Brady. Picked very close in
That's
the draft.
a dangerous thing to say.
I'm not calling Mike White fucking Tom Brady. I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking saying that.
That sounds so Jets homery. I guarantee there are people there who are Jets fans slapping the table, Jets, Jets. We've got the next Tom Brady. And that sounded like one of their comments right there.
And I'm not a Jets fan. I bury the Jets at every opportunity because they're not good. But Mike White is right now, by all accounts, the best quarterback on that team. And he's a pretty goddamn good football player. So
hey, he is performing like the best quarterback on that team. I think we still have to. The book isn't written on Zach yet.
Are we sure?
But we'll see.
Hold on, I'm going to toss this up there again. Zach Wilson is QB3.
Hey, yeah, you're not wrong. Right?
I don't care which one you put it to. You put Joe Flacco at 2. He's better than fucking Zach Wilson is right now.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
I don't want to keep it up there too long before Jets fans start fucking just attacking me again. However, that was also fun/funny because now I feel like suck my dick and rub my nuts across your face because I was 100% right.
The little drip on the chin.
Yeah.
All righty. Next game. Lions and Steelers. All right.
I know what I want to do, but I know I can't because
I said I would not do it anymore. That I would not pick the Lions to win a game. I do think that they could go. I don't think that they will have no wins this season, but I probably will not be picking which game I think they're going to win because I don't know. I just have.
They'll get one.
I've been fucked by that a little bit too much.
They might get two.
No, the line is Pittsburgh -8. I'm actually taking the Lions line on this one. I think that the Lions can keep it within 8. They've been playing a lot of close games with a lot of very good teams. A lot of teams way better than the Steelers. They have been keeping these games close. They are fighting. They are fighters.
Not last game.
And
I wonder if that is starting to affect the locker room, the fact that they are losing every game. I think MCDC is a great coach. I hope that he gets a few years in Detroit to turn this thing around because I don't even fucking like the Lions, but I believe in the guy. Mm-hmm. The way he talks, the way he acts, the way he just fucking interacts with football, his team. I believe in MCDC. But I can't pick them to win the game.
Yeah, that's like I said, I'm not going to pick them to win this game. I do think that they have a chance to beat the Steelers. I 100% feel it. They have a chance to beat the Steelers. I will not select the Lions to win this game, though. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win, but I'm going to take the Lions +8. That I feel comfortable with.
So I did not decide on the spread. I took Steelers on the money line because I'm not confident that the Steelers can cover. And I'm also not confident that the Lions can cover. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen because I've seen the Lions show up and be competitive. And then I've also seen the Lions absolutely not show up like they did last week. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to get a win for Motor City Dan Campbell. I don't think it's this game. It's going to happen at some point. I'm going to pick against the Lions probably every game for the rest of the year unless they're playing the Jags or the Jets.
And I can't even do that anymore because
I won't pick them against the Jets if Mike White is playing.
And the Jags beat the Bills last week. So I don't know that I could do it.
I can't wait for the day the Lions win a game for Motor City Dan Campbell, and I can come in here and celebrate that. As a Cleveland fan, you don't root for fucking teams up north. You don't root for Michigan. You don't root for fucking the Tigers. You don't root for the Lions. You don't root for the fucking Red Wings. If even we're gonna get that deep and talk about hockey.
We're rooting for our man Dan Campbell.
Yeah, that's who I'm rooting. I'm rooting for Dan Campbell because I believe in the guy. I just can't pick him to win. Yep. I wish I could. I wish I could pick him to win.
All right. Our last morning game of the week, other than our two games, which we'll get to at the end of the show, we have the Buccaneers versus the Washington football team being played in Landover, Maryland. Currently, the line is Tampa Bay -9.5, over under 51.
So I have Tampa on the money line, though. I don't feel great about this cover. It's so hard to look at the talent on that Washington football team and say they're bad at football. It's so difficult. They should be so much better than what they are. They have the talent. They're a playoff team last year with almost no changes. So I can't take the cover. I got the Bucs on the money line because the Bucs are one of the best teams in football. They have the GOAT at quarterback. And I fucking hate saying that because I cannot stand Tom Brady, but he's the GOAT. I got the Bucs. I wish that Washington would play up to their potential. Because if they do, they will cover, but they haven't shown it yet.
Yeah. This game, I have the Bucs winning. I don't have them covering the 9.5 spread. That's a large spread. You are without Gronk again, I believe. You're without Antonio Brown. They still have plenty of offensive talent on that team, but 9.5, that's a lot to cover.
And we've been seeing these crazy big spreads. Like
now, the thing with the Bucs is that they actually kind of took this line last year fairly strong at the beginning of the year. Like they're okay beginning of the year. then they have this lull in the middle of the season,
Yeah.
and then by the end of the season, that's when they are really hitting their stride.
And this is the Bucs team that everybody said this is the best chance to go fucking 17-0. They haven't looked like it, but this is the recipe from last year. This is exactly the recipe from last year.
Yeah.
So
well, they're not going 17-0. Obviously, they're 6-2 right now.
Yeah, I got the Bucs on the money line. I would love to see Washington play it up to their potential. If I'm going to lose a game, this is a game that I would not mind losing because I like Ron Rivera. I like Heineke. Huge fan of McLaurin because he's an Ohio State guy. Same thing with Chase Young. They just have not put it together, and I don't know why. This is a team that we expected to probably at least contend.
I felt like their defense was going to hold them in a lot of games and that they had enough talent on offense that even without a standout quarterback that they would be competitive. And they just haven't really been to this point. No. That's why they're 2-6.
I thought they would contend in the NFC East, that weak ass NFC East, and give the Cowboys a run for it. And that's not happening. The Cowboys are going to run away with this division.
Yep. So both of us taking the Bucs. That brings us to our afternoon games for Sunday. We have the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals. In Glendale, Arizona, the line is Arizona minus 10.5, over and under of 44. And this is one of my locks for the week.
There we go.
All right.
Another lock.
Yep. So I got the Cardinals on the money line here. The Panthers don't have a quarterback really that you can feel comfortable with right now. Yes, they have Cam Newton. If Cam was playing this game, I still got the Cardinals winning. I don't feel as strong about it, but I absolutely see the Cardinals winning this game. Panthers don't have a quarterback that I feel at all comfortable with. 10.5, that's still just too large of a spread for me to feel great about. Right. That's why I'm taking the money line in this one. Cardinals. They are going to win this game. You can bet that. Take it to the house.
Yeah, so because of the 10.5 point spread, I stayed away from the spread as well. I have Cardinals money line. Can they cover that? Yes. Should they? Probably. But I'm not going to bet that. I got the Cardinals.
I mean, the Cardinals were without Kyler last week. They were without D-Hop last week, and they bring in, that solid McCoy backup quarterback, and they still are able to go out there and beat the 49ers when they were not favored. This is a good Cardinals team. The Panthers have a solid defense. They've got a lot of pieces on offense, but without the quarterback and the way that they've been playing recently, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't either. Cardinals money line for sure.
Part of the Lineman Lounge parlay.
Yeah, so when we were coming up with our picks, we tried to make sure that we picked things that were obviously we needed 4 separate picks. That would have been one of my locks if that was not already one of yours. Cardinals on the money line for sure. And I know Nick Peterson's going to be like, man, this is a trap game. Cardinals fans have been saying it's a trap game for 9 goddamn weeks now. Listen, that team is good as fuck.
Their trap game happened versus the Packers.
Yeah, it did. The Cardinals are fucking good. They might be the best team in the NFC because that defense is starting to play up to the level of the offense. That Cardinals team is fantastic. They are going to beat the Panthers. No question in my mind.
Also, our mutual friend and coworker, Miss Kayla Hubbard, did want to make sure that it was known, and this is not a hot take by any means, I'm sorry, but she said the Cardinals are going to the Super Bowl this year. She wanted to make sure that I announced it on her behalf on the show that the Cardinals are going to the Super Bowl this year. She's a Broncos fan, but she said, hey, Cardinals are going to the Super Bowl. I'm calling it right now. You should post about it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. This was on Tuesday, I believe, maybe Monday that she said this. I was like, I'll make sure to retroactively make sure that your point is posted on the show, so that way she can be part of our, calling these things out ahead of time. I think that a lot of people think that the Cardinals might make it to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, odds are that they will be in that NFC Championship game. It's what we got: Cardinals, Rams, Bucks.
And that's it.
They're top 3 in the NFC, so we'll say a 33% chance that they're going to be going to that NFC Championship game, or 33% chance that they're going to be making it to the Super Bowl.
And right now they have the bye in the NFC. which gives him even more of an opportunity.
Big advantage. So just shouting that out for Miss Hubbard.
So
points made.
I'm going to toss out a reference that we heard this morning at birthday party. Thank you, old Mother Hubbard, for tossing that out there. I agree. Honestly, like, I had the Bucks. I'm starting to see the Cardinals be very, very dangerous. They are surprising me with the things that they are doing on defense. They're so goddamn good. If Kyler is healthy, they get there. And I think we're starting to kind of get away from those questions about, is Cliff the guy? Cliff is kind of showing that he's starting to get a hang of this whole NFL thing.
I don't know if I want to go that far. I don't like Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach. I don't.
No?
I
mean, what has he done that has this year?
He just looks pretentious to me.
I mean, did you see his fucking house?
Yeah, he lives in a baller-ass mansion. I'm just not a huge fan of him as a coach personally. I like a lot of his coaches underneath him, but that's more personal than anything. Just I can't completely say why. I'm just not a fan of him as a head coach.
Okay. All right. Well, I still like the Cardinals, though. All right.
Absolutely.
What's our next one?
All right. So next game going into the afternoon, we have the Eagles and the Broncos being played at Mile High in Denver.
Well,
the line is
not gonna like.
The line is Denver minus 1.5 on ESPN right now
for the Broncos, right?
Yeah, for the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So I actually took the Eagles plus 2.5 on this one on Wednesday. So the line has moved a little bit. I think the Broncos are a better team, but not by a ton. They obviously came out with a pretty good win last week. I think the Broncos win this game, but I do think that where I took them that the Eagles would cover. I don't know what the 1.5 that the Eagles would cover on this. So it's Broncos for me. I do have a little side bet going on with this, which I can't completely discuss for reasons.
Oh.
But yeah, I actually already put money on Eagles plus 2.5. Jalen Hurts is, flashy.
Yeah,
he's done some very good things this year. It'll be interesting to see how he performs up there for the Broncos. I thought the Broncos were going to not necessarily start to tank the rest of the season after trading away Von Miller, but I thought that we would see a little bit of an emotional drop-off. That did not happen. The Broncos definitely showed up and played very well last week, got themselves a good win. So I do think the Broncos end up winning this game. I think it could be pretty close. Like, that's why I've got that Eagles cover at 2.5. I think that, the Eagles could be within that field goal.
I actually have the Eagles on the money line here. Jalen Hurts is better than I thought. We've talked about it a couple times. He's performed pretty well. Teddy has kind of not been impressive at all. There's a couple weeks ago, there was conversations about, is Drew Lock going to come into this game when they played the Browns to give that team a boost? That didn't happen. They never really were able to do much on offense. Now, they did play well last week. But I think that Eagles team will find a way to go into Mile High, get that dub. Jalen Hurts is not great, but he is not a bust. I think Jalen
of that second-round pick.
Yeah. When I think of a quarterback in the second round, I think of a guy who is a spot starter, not elite, somewhere in that
fringe starter.
Yeah, he's a fringe starter. Could be a career backup, and that's exactly where Jalen has played. He's played well at times. He's not played well at times. That running game has looked a little bit better for Philly. They're actually fucking running the ball now, which I know has been something that Philly fans have been calling for. I got the Eagles on the money line for one of my upset picks for this week. I don't know if it's necessarily if everybody's going to think that's an upset. I know Broncos fans will. They think they should win this game, but I got Eagles.
Yep, and like I said, this one is close for me. Where the line is now, I would be taking Denver. both money line and the spread, but it's very close. And that, I think that covers us for that game. We'll move on to next one. Packers Seahawks being played in Green Bay. Currently line is -3.5 for the Green Bay Packers on ESPN. Now, like I said, this line might be moving a little bit. I thought when I first saw this that this line of Green Bay -3.5 was because Aaron Rodgers was possibly not going to play. He wasn't cleared yet. Now, as of the news today that he has been cleared, that he is asymptomatic, I thought that this would mean that the line would jump dramatically. With Rodgers playing versus the Seahawks and how bad that Seahawks defense is right now, I expected this to be closer to 6.5, 7 for Green Bay. Now, Seahawks are getting Russell Wilson back, but I don't know that it really makes that great of a difference just because the Seahawks have been underperforming
and they're still going to be missing Chris Carson this week.
So, I mean, it's gross. Yeah, I'm taking the Packers on this one over the Seahawks. It's just, I don't know how you can't, even with that line. I mean, Green Bay -3.5, I'd be taking that as well.
I would be taking it as well. I took the Packers money line earlier in the week. I had a feeling that Aaron was going to get right.
Honestly, I thought
watching all the things with Pat McAfee, I thought Aaron would be cleared.
I thought he was going to be, or that he was already cleared to play. It wasn't until yesterday I looked into it more. I was like, why is this line so close?
Yeah, he had to wait. Today was the day where he could be cleared to play. I thought Aaron would be cleared after hearing all the things that were happening. Now, obviously, there's a ton of controversy around Aaron, but that's not what we're talking about. I figured he would play in this game. So I took the Packers on the money line. I didn't take the spread because if there was a chance that Aaron didn't play, I didn't think they could cover. But with Aaron playing, I think they can and probably will cover the 3.5. I got the Packers on the money line. Aaron Rodgers is a fucking stud. I know you hate hearing it. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love the way he goes about his business on the field. I like the way he goes about his business off the field. I got Packers. Yeah, I know. You hate them. But it's Packers for me, especially with Aaron playing. That makes that even more of a lock for me.
Yep.
Not my other lock.
That isn't one of our Lineman Lounge parlays. However, it very well could have been. I just never would have partaken in it personally. But you could have put that in there. I'm just not touching that for personal reasons. All right, moving on. We've got our Sunday night football. All right, this is one of my pieces to our Lineman Lounge parlay. We have the Chiefs and the Raiders being played in Vegas. The Chiefs never cover.
Never.
The line is KC -2.5. I think the Raiders have a chance of winning this game.
I do too.
So I'm taking the line of Raiders +2.5 on this one because the Chiefs just don't cover. They find a way, even if they win, they find a way just not to cover.
Yep.
You see it week in and week out. They don't cover.
Death,
so
taxes, and the fucking Chiefs not covering.
Absolutely. And I think the Raiders have a strong chance of winning this game outright. So, of course, I'm going to take the +2.5 from the Raiders. And that's part of our parlay is Raiders +2.5 on the line.
It is. And I agree with Raiders +2.5. I totally go with the Chiefs not covering, even on that low-ass point spread. I do have the Chiefs on the money line by a point. They're going to kick a late field goal. Harrison Butker is going to find a way to fucking win them this game, and they're going to stay relevant in the AFC North in the AFC conversation, not AFC North. They're not as bad. Well, their defense is as bad as it looks. Their offense isn't as bad as it looks.
They haven't been performing, though.
They haven't. But they're not good enough to win they're going to win on a last-second field goal. That's they're going to win by 2, maybe 1 point
And the over under on this,
there's going to be a missed extra point somewhere.
The over under on this is 52. So I think if you're feeling frisky, I'd consider betting the over on this one as well, just because it's not a good Chiefs defense at all. The Raiders defense is meh. So, and both these teams have a lot of offensive firepower. Derek Carr and Patrick Mahomes have plenty of options out there. So,
what did you say the over under was?
52.
52?
Yeah.
28-27. Chiefs with the win, because the Raiders are going to miss a fucking extra point.
All right.
I'm calling my shot. That's what I got. I got the Chiefs winning, not fucking covering, because the Chiefs don't goddamn cover. So that's what I got.
Absolutely. Then Monday Night Football, we've got the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers being played in Santa Clara. Current line is Rams -3.5, over and under 49. And I believe this is another one of our.
This is one of
the final piece of the Lineman Lounge parlay.
That is right. So I have the Rams covering the -3.5. The 49ers are not that good. 49ers got smacked last week by the Cardinals, who are a very good team, but who was missing basically all of their offensive weapons. The Rams have a ton of offensive weapons. Now, obviously, they just lost Robert Woods. OBJ is not going to play in this game, I don't believe. But it's the Rams. The Rams are so goddamn good. They have a good run game. They have a good defense. That Rams defense can stop that fucking 49ers run game.
Is this the first game that we see Von Miller out there?
Yes. Yes, it will be. So we will see Von Miller and fucking Aaron Donald on the field at the same time. I hope they come off the fucking same edge. Jimmy G's not going to be able to deal with that. The Rams are, after a very disappointing fucking week last week, are going to come back and smack the shit out of the 49ers.
Yeah, and obviously it's part of our parlay. I'm in agreement with you here. I've got the Rams winning this one. I've got them covering. If the line was closer to that 6 mark, I'd be a little bit, I'd still take the Rams winning this game. But 3.5, I think that they can easily cover that.
Yeah, I think they get it by at least a touchdown.
Yep. Teams on bye this week, by the way, is the Bears, Bengals, Giants, and Texans. So we won't
a lot of teams that need fucking buys, by the way.
Yeah. So we, obviously won't be getting into any of that stuff with them. But that takes it to the end of our Monday night game. And now we're going to go back in time a little bit, talk about a couple more morning games. We've got my Vikings playing the Chargers and your Browns playing the Patriots. 2 interesting games in their own respect. So first off, Vikings and Chargers being played in Inglewood, California. The line is Chargers -3. The Vikings, again, kind of played the same game that they've been playing this whole fucking year, minus when we played the Seahawks. They play to their talent, but they do not follow through in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense just has not been looking good. You are seeing tons of frustration coming from those offensive players because we have a lot of talent on this team. This Vikings team is very, very talented.
They are.
The weakest part of our team is our defensive backs, but the offense shouldn't be having these sorts of problems, and they keep having these sorts of problems. They are just making weird play calls. They are not utilizing one of the best receivers in the league in Justin Jefferson like they should be. They're not even using Thielen like they should be.
No.
It's just tough for me to pick my Vikings right now. Chargers -3, I'd be taking the Chargers -3, honestly, even though we play teams close. I think the Chargers are a very good team. They haven't looked as good lately.
They have not.
But I guess because we play them close, maybe I shouldn't be taking the Chargers -3, but I just don't have confidence in my guys right now. So that's why I'm taking the Chargers to win this game. I'm actually taking them to cover that -3.
I am expecting the Chargers to win, but because your team plays everybody incredibly close, I have the Vikings covering. Now, this could be a push scenario. I have the Vikings +3. I could see them losing by 3 and getting a push. That Vikings team is very, very talented. I need the offense to fucking evolve a little bit. I don't know what is happening. When you guys find a rhythm, when you guys find something that fucking works, you get away from it. And I don't understand why. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. We have seen that Chargers team be very susceptible to the play action pass. Some of you guys are very good at. Good run game, good receivers. I mean, the Browns put up 42 fucking points against them using that same formula. I think you guys can score a lot of points. But I don't know if your defense can hold up against that Chargers offense. I think it will be a close game. I have the Vikings +3. I could see a push right there as a 3-point game, but I also see it as being a very close game. And I like your Vikings on the cover.
Yeah, that's Eckler out of the backfield. I think that the type of running back that he scares me a lot more than other running backs just because he is so multiple, both as a receiver and a runner. Herbert is, a very good quarterback. He's got that strong arm, and they have plenty of receiving talent there. With us, right, we're banged up. Barr is probably not going to play again. Since coming back, Barr has looked fantastic for us. So him not playing is going to hurt. Michael Pierce at defensive tackle is still out. We thought that he could possibly be back this week nursing an elbow injury, but he is going to be out. And then, we're just getting thinner at that defensive end spot. So we had a very late round pick from last year, Kenny Willis. Cool story behind him. Cool player. He played in his first NFL game last week and actually looked really good. He kept on getting talked about in the broadcast as being around the plays, making plays. He's on the COVID list, so he's not playing. So it's just another defensive end down. We still are leading the league in sacks. We are still getting tons of pressure, which I love to see. So we're doing something right there. It's just with the defensive backs, Brashad Breeland, I believe, is questionable, maybe even doubtful at this point to play. So we are going to, again, be hurting at the defensive back spot. Like I said last week, I think that we have a chance to win every game that we go into because of our talent if we were somehow able to make our offense work. And we just are not being as electric and utilizing those pieces as we need to be, as we should be. It's disappointing. It's obviously disappointing to the players. You're hearing a lot about that. And then I guess one thing to note, it's newsworthy. Dalvin Cook has got a little bit of stuff going on outside of football.
He does.
So Dalvin Cook's agent released some information saying that he's the victim of some domestic violence issues. Again, he is the victim is what they're saying. And then a counter claim, and then I believe suit was filed against him where an ex of his supposedly had entered his home by using a garage door remote that she still had and began assaulting Cook and one of his guests. She was pepper sprayed and restrained and received some injuries from that. It is kind of like a he said, she said situation at this point. However, his camp is saying that he was the victim. And then there's been a lot of stuff coming out about this female who is a member of the military, supposedly, a sergeant first class. But there's stuff of her possibly assaulting him in videos, brandishing firearms and things like that. So it's not looking good on her behalf right now.
It does not.
And there's not really been a whole lot of negative stuff around Dalvin Cook. I know that coming out of college, he had hung with a rougher crew.
Yeah.
But a big part of his story was that he was leaving that sort of past behind him and getting away from that by coming to the NFL. And then he's been kind of just an outstanding member of the community since then. I'm obviously going to be biased in this situation for my guy Dalvin. We have to see how this stuff plays out. But as of right now, there's no ramifications for him playing or anything like that. It's just something that kind of we have to watch at this point.
Right. Well, and Schefter caught some heat for reporting one side of the story. And anytime we hear these kinds of domestic violence things, that's going to come out where the NFL is, and Schefter works for the NFL. I mean, he works for ESPN, but he works for the NFL.
Right.
We're going to hear those kind of one-sided stories. I don't want to place any judgment on anybody because we don't know all the facts. Obviously, it's not a great situation. You don't ever want one of your you don't want one of your franchise guys being tied up and caught up in something like this. It's never good. It may be a little bit of distraction, but I still got your Vikings. It's not great. And I'm going to say that, listen, anytime there's a talk about domestic violence, it's not great. But I'm also going to make a joke that you can't ever, ever trust those goddamn sergeant first classes. Fruto, I love you. All those sergeant first classes that we work with, love you guys. But it's weird that it's a military person, and because that hits a little bit home for us.
Yeah,
we know those.
Usually we have look, being in the military, anyone can pretty much join. It means that you're going to see a lot of people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, and different levels of character. Just because you're in the military doesn't mean that you have high character, though it can build that in a lot of people, even from bad walks of life. But usually people with the more poor character or issues like that outside of the workplace, that sort of stuff
out early.
Yeah, that doesn't allow them to
first class rank.
achieve that high of a rank. It doesn't always happen. I mean, we both
have seen sergeant first classes that are not supposed to be there, but
people slip through the cracks all the time. Me personally, I don't care that she's in the military or not. I'm just taking this as a person who did something or didn't do something. We'll find out. Some sort of a domestic violence altercation of some sort.
Yeah, so nothing good comes from any kind of domestic violence or dispute. It's always going to be ugly. This is probably going to be ugly, but Dalvin is going to play in this game. I don't know that it will affect him. I think he's a professional. He will go out there and do what is needed.
Yeah, this whole altercation happened, I guess, like over 8 months ago as well. So it's been a long time. If this was going to be affecting him, it already probably would have. Mm-hmm. So just a side note, but getting back to the football game, you heard Mike's take on it, that he's taking the Vikings to be able to, cover. Mm-hmm. I just unfortunately am being the pessimist that I am. I'm seeing the Vikings losing this game. I'm seeing them not being able to cover the -3.
Well, it worked for me last week. Maybe it'll work for you this week.
Maybe. Yeah, I'll take it. All right. Moving on, we've got the Browns and Patriots.
Yeah.
Being played in Foxborough.
This is a very interesting game, and it's gotten more interesting as the week has gone along. Before anything came out, I had the Browns absolutely smacking the fuck out of the Patriots. I thought that we were going to basically do anything and everything we wanted to, because this guy right here was going to be on the field, generate a lot of yards, be able to run play action off of Nick Chubb. Nick's not playing again. Not hurt, but he is on the COVID list. He has been ruled out. That means that we are going to see Dearness Johnson start again. This Cleveland Browns backfield is the best in the NFL. I thought we would get Kareem Hunt back this week, but he's going to need a little bit more time. Does not look like he is going to be activated and be ready to play. So Dearness is going to get the start. Demetric Felton is also out in this game. That means we only have one healthy running back, and that is Dearness Johnson. Now, he has proven that he can fucking ball. That Denver Broncos defense is no slouch. They're pretty goddamn good on defensive end, and he could run. I still like my Browns in this game. We are the underdogs at +2.5. I don't know how we go from being the favorites against the Bengals to the underdogs against the Patriots. The Patriots are better. They are better than I thought they would be.
They're gaining a little bit of steam, but I'm not sold on them yet.
I think that our defense is going to absolutely feast on the rookie.
Yeah, so I have the Browns winning. I have them covering. I felt really good about them covering if Chubb played. I feel less comfortable about it, but I still have them covering the -2.5 against New England.
We are +2.5.
That's correct. Sorry, my bad. I'm misspeaking. It is New England -2.5, but I do have the Browns being able to win this game. But if I wasn't just picking the money line, I would pick them to cover this.
I would, if the line was flipped, I would take the Browns to cover 2.5.
Yes,
I like the Browns in this game. Like, I was very down on the Browns last week. I saw what this Browns offense can do when there is no distractions, when there is no second guessing. It is very fluid. Now, obviously, Nick Chubb changes a team's game plan on defense. He's the best pure runner in football. Highest yards per carry outside of Lamar Jackson. So best pure running back in football. Dearness is very good. Dearness could probably start for a lot of teams in the NFL right now. And he's our third guy. He's going to perform well. We are going to get this win. We are going to catapult ourselves into a tie for first place in that AFC North. I don't know what Vegas knows that I don't on why the Patriots are favored. Maybe it's because they're at home.
I think it's because they're at home. Belichick at home in the wintertime. He traditionally, that team plays very well there. And they get stronger.
In the wintertime, they don't. I understand in the wintertime, but that Patriots team doesn't run the ball well.
Yeah.
So what wins you games when it gets cold?
I think that
running and defense.
I think that Vegas is leaning more towards historical stuff rather than the present.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be happy to take Vegas's money on this because I think they're way off. The Browns should be favored. They're getting the win. I'm very excited to watch this game tomorrow. I'm going to fucking have vodka orange juices, beers all day because I'm in the Sims all week next week, so I don't have to worry about a hangover. And going to fly.
Nice.
I got to get the poke number 2. So I can't fly. I've never been more excited in my life to go to the Sims because the new flight schedule sucks ass.
Yeah, it won't be like that for too much longer.
Well, you know more than I do. I'm not asking for any inside information, but
In December it changes.
Oh, good. You mean when we all get fired?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I got Browns. I got Browns on
as well.
Outright. This line is fucking wrong. I don't know. Maybe Vegas will prove me wrong. Once again, they've done it several times. However, I took Vegas for $2,500 this week. I'm gonna take some more fucking money on the Browns, getting that goddamn dub. Dearness Johnson can start on probably 10 teams in the NFL right now, and he's our third running back. Baker is so efficient when he doesn't have distractions on the field. Last week, 8 guys caught passes. Nobody had more than 5 targets. Nobody had more than 3 catches. When he distributes the ball, when we can run the ball, we fucking win. Dearness is going to run, and he's going to run behind an offensive line that is locked up for a very, very long time. I alluded to it earlier about OBJ leaving, opened up some salary cap. This week, we go out, we re-sign the top 2 of the top 3 guards in the NFL, according to PFF, and Joel Bitonio, who is one of my favorite fucking guys. You don't get guards that block that good in pass coverage. He is so fucking good. He could play tackle, has played tackle for us. And then we get Wyatt Teller, who is an absolute fucking mauler, locked up for 4 years. That offensive line is going to stay together for a while.
Yeah, those are great re-signings. I love seeing that for you guys. The offensive lineman signings are not flashy, spectacular.
Nope.
I saw that and I was like, this is an excellent, excellent football move because you guys have a fantastic line. Both of those guys are fantastic players. I would love to have them on my team. And it's nice to know that you've got a good, solid interior for years to come.
Yep. Interior offensive line is crucial. Everybody talks about tackles. Tackles are obviously important because your best pass rushers come off the edge. But interior pressure causes more problems than edge pressure. If you get pressure up the middle, play is fucked. Right from the jump, play is fucked. Pressure off the edge, quarterback can climb the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a push up the middle, it does not work great. We got 2 of the top 3 guards in the NFL locked up for at least 3 more years. I'm super fucking pumped that those guys got contracts. Still waiting on Denzel to get his contract. Still waiting on Baker to get his contract. Those will be coming. Baker's probably won't happen until the offseason would be my guess. Once they figure out where the cap is, after we make some salary cap casualties, probably with Jarvis, that core of this team, the way that we win is now locked up because we win with a running game.
Absolutely. All right, so that wraps it up for our games of the week. Just to recap, the Lineman Lounge parlay. If you want to bet it, you can bet it with us. I'm going to go lock this in as soon as it shows up. We have the Cowboys on the money line, the Rams -3.5, the Raiders plus 2.5, and the Cardinals money line. That is the Lineman Lounge parlay for this week.
That is the Lineman Lounge parlay for this week. I'm actually logging back into FanDuel right now. I'm trying to distribute what bets I put where. Like a lot of my basketball bets and college games have gone on Caesars. A lot of my NFL stuff has gone on FanDuel because I like the lines a little bit better on FanDuel. But locking it in right now. So you bet $10 on FanDuel right this second. $10 wins you 48-47. I understand it's not a big win, but it doesn't have to be. Plus money's plus money, baby.
Absolutely. And on Caesars, if you were to bet this on Caesars, $10 is going to pay you out $55.86. All right. So that's a pretty good payout for that. Obviously, 4 games, it's a little bit riskier, but we feel pretty strongly about these games. We're going to be betting them. Hopefully, you'll bet along with us.
So I just locked it in. I guess my total payout is a little because I get my $10 back. So total payout is $58.47 with getting my $10 back. I'm locked in for the Lineman Lounge parlay. I hope you guys join in. And if we make you money, let us know. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter, fucking comment on the YouTube channels. Anywhere that you guys can reach us. I mean, we got the TikTok, we got Instagram, the thing I continue to neglect so much. But if you guys post anything, you guys tag us in anything, we're gonna see it. Doesn't matter where it's at on social. We always see it, and we try to give you guys feedback. I mean, I walk into work and I get those E7s. Hey, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you hear about this? Yeah, man, I'm plugged into this. This is what I do. When I'm not at work, when I'm not flying, if I'm not instructing students, sports encompasses my entire life. I got a daughter in soccer. I got a son who plays football, baseball. Sports rules my life. I am lucky enough to have a producer/wife who enables my habits, who will let me watch sports whenever. It also helps that she is now betting. So she is invested as well. And yeah, if you guys make money, let us know. If we lose money, we'll come on and apologize. We'll tell you that, don't bet money you can't spend. But I anticipate making some fucking money this week.
Yeah, the fact that we're putting our money on it means that, we're not just floating off weird bullshit picks at you here. So we both feel confident in what we're selecting here. So again, don't bet outside your means. If you want to bet along with us, go for it. And if you are able to make some money off those bets, even if you don't do it as a parlay, you just do them individually to kind of hedge your bets or something like that, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe on any of our pages. We'd love to hear the feedback.
And if you guys got anything that you think that we should bet, if you guys got some good bets, I mean, we're not pros. I mean, we've done okay. But if you guys got anything, hey, I like making money. Send that shit my way too.
I mean, being a pro is making money at something that you're doing. So maybe we are pros.
I mean, yeah, technically I am a pro then because I've made quite a bit of money. Pulled out quite a bit of money. So now it's all plus cash flow, baby.
Absolutely. All right, man. You got anything else that we need to go over?
I don't think so, man. I mean, we hit on college football. We got NFL. We hit the storylines. It was super cool to do this live. I know this is only our second live show. I like doing it live because, we can give updates as it's coming rather than me going out doing, 4 hours of editing for a 2-hour podcast and they catch it late. Now they can kind of join in, watch as it's going on, get our takes live. You can see that we're not fucking editing shit out. We're not, kind of back and forth. This is 100% raw, thickest fucking podcast in the game, Lineman Lounge. So I do like the fact that we went live.
Absolutely. There is one little bit of piece of news, which might play in a little bit. to maybe how you want to pick these things.
Oh.
For me, it's not really changing up my perspective. Julio Jones is on the IR as injuries went up for the Titans, according to ESPN. So that's one receiver down for the Titans. Hurts them a little bit. I still got the Titans winning that game, though.
Yeah, I saw the Titans as well. Taking a look at the college football update. Georgia in a close game with Tennessee, 10-10 right now. We got Oklahoma going fucking down. It's almost like I knew. Yeah. I didn't know, because if I did, I would have bet a heavy amount of money. But I felt really good about Baylor knocking off Oklahoma. They did. Ohio State beating the absolute piss out of fucking Purdue right now. Makes me very happy, because I couldn't watch the game. I probably should have pulled that up here.
Fumble.
Ooh. I got my dual screen action. I got the phone. I got all sorts of shit going on. Michigan won. I don't think they covered that. They only won by 4. I don't remember what the fuck the cover was. But Michigan gets a big win. That sets up great for Ohio State later in the year, so we can knock off Michigan, because they're not that good, and propel us even farther up into those playoffs.
All right. Sounds like you got some good Twitter arguments to be had between Bearcats fans and Buckeyes fans.
Yeah, Cincinnati, we're fucking better than you.
Fair enough.
We're fucking better than you, and we know it. I mean, that's one nice thing about being an Ohio State fan, is I know that I'm better than 99% of the teams in the country.
Yeah. I should be.
Yeah, well,
you're a powerhouse.
Finally, the Browns are starting to take that uptick, so my entire football season is not contingent on Ohio State being good. Now I actually get to root for the Browns instead of going out and getting shit-faced and be like, oh, well, it's another loss.
Mm-hmm. It's just a different reason to drink.
Yeah, different reason, baby. We're drinking in celebration now.
Absolutely, and that's always nice. All right, ladies and gents. This has been the Lineman Lounge live show on Saturday. Stay safe out there. Happy betting. Bet safe and responsible. Thanks for joining us. Mike, any final closing words?
I got nothing for the people. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you guys stuck with us the entire time, I've seen at least one person holding strong. We love you. Thank you very much. You guys fucking rock. Thanks for rocking with us.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
See you.